Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
The New York City Housing Authority has come under a lot of scrutiny for a whole host of things. But first, I want to tell y'all about how it has been discovered that they have taken over 66 days on average to fix the complaints of their public housing residents. Now, some of the complaints range from things like leaking water, holes in walls, mold, refrigerators not working, and a whole host of other things, right? Now, there's a resident that lives in one of those public housing units, if you will, by the name of Glenn Collins. And he says that for at least 10 years, he's had over a dozen issues that he's repeatedly asked to be fixed. Like one, he said he had cracked walls in his apartment. He also said that he has a big giant hole in his shower. And he said for 3 years, and they just recently fixed it, that whenever his upstairs neighbor would flush the toilet, that leaking sewage water would go into his apartment for 3 years. And they just recently fixed it. Now, he says, obviously, it shouldn't be like that. But per the New York City Housing Authority, they said, well, for non-emergency things, on average, they like to get it to 15 days. But it hasn't been that way, right? And also, they said for emergency things like no heat and no hot water, they want to try to get to it in 24 hours, but they're saying on average is about 28 hours. Now, residents are saying, well, 24 hours is a long time to wait for hot water and heat because, in New York, it is cold and it's hard to live anywhere, even though you're inside without heat because it's just too cold to do that. And so, again, they've come under a lot of scrutiny saying, hey, what's going on? Not Eric Adams. He's aware of it saying, well, the work orders, we know that they're backed up, this, that, and the other. Now let's get to the other reason why NYCHA, that's what they call it for short, is in trouble because they have recently had 70 past and present employees, superintendents, and other managerial positions get snatched up by the Department of Justice for taking bribes from, let's say, construction companies who may want to bid on a contract for, let's say, an apartment building or whatever. And those employees will, for lack of better words, be like, great, how much you going to give me to give it to you? And so they said on average, I guess some of the employees will get about $10,000 in bribes, which is why it went under the radar for so long. I think going back to 2013. But again, they were recently caught, handcuffed, and perp walked, if you will. And so when I hear that story, and then I hear what's going on with some of the residents waiting as much as 66 days to get stuff fixed, it's like, well, no wonder. The people that's in charge of NYCHA, they up in there getting bribes and greasing their own pockets, right? I bet you they don't go home to holes in the walls and leaking water and mold and sewage coming into their apartment every time their neighbor flushed the toilet. That is gross right there. That I'd have moved. And when I first saw the first drop, I'd have packed my stuff and I would have been up out of there, right? And then the man says he's waiting over 10 years to get a dozen things fixed. Now, this is just me. Ain't no shade to that man, okay? I'm a woman, and I think that I'm pretty industrious, if you will. Now, if I had to patch up a hole in the wall, I could do that. I've patched up holes in walls before. And in fact, my daughter and I, we fixed broken windows. So we just figured it out right now. I wouldn't have waited that long for them to come up in there and patch no hole in my shower. I would have just did it however I could. But that's just me. No shade to him. And let me get that back to what I'm saying. Okay. Nevertheless, regardless, that should not have been up to that man to fix that. It should have been up to NYCHA to fix the holes in the walls and all that other stuff. He should have never had to wait for 3 years for some crappy water, literally coming through his ceiling from the neighbors. But again, now we see why because they was stealing big time by way of bribery from construction companies and people who wanted the contract. So, of course, the superintendent there was like, well, we don't put up with that. It's like, yes, you do, because you put up with it since 2013. You just got caught. So anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think of that very unfortunate story. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, the Demetra Kaye